name's Hudgens. I know the Hudgenses. Know Miss Nora well.
Did you happen to know Adeline as well?
Did I know Adeline? I know Adeline how boss children made of mine just like they was hers. She took good care of them. Adeline thought every one of those children were made out of pure gold. Pure gold. She made of mine too. I remember once she was down on Central Avenue with Ross, and he did something that it wasn't nice. She walked over to the umbrella stand. And you remember how they used to have the umbrellas out in front of the stores? She grabbed the umbrella. She whipped Ross with it. And she didn't hurt him. Then she put it back in the stand. She told their store owner, if that umbrella's hurt, you just charge it to Paul Hudgens. That's the way Adeline was. Oh, so she's still alive. Oh, how I like to see her.
So where were you born, Mattie?
I was born on Green River near Hartford, Kentucky. Guess I was about a year and a half old when my mistress married, from what they tell me. Don't know how she was ever met my master. She was raised in a convent. His folks lived a long way from hers. But anyhow, she did. She was 13 when she married.
And what was your master's name?
Charles Mooreman. M-O-O-R-E-M-A-N. They had a son called Charles Wycliffe Mooreman. He was named for his mother's people. I got a son called Charles Wycliffe. We live in Kentucky. Mr. Charles Wycliffe Mooreman. And sometimes I get letters from him.
What was your life like back before the war?
Miss Mary, I guess I had a pretty easy time in slavery days. It was good to us. Besides, I worked in the house. Once I heard a man say to my mother, you could put on a white boiled shirt and lie down in the middle of her kitchen floor and still not get dirty.
So did you work in the kitchen cooking?
Cook? No, ma'am. I never cooked until after I was married. And I never washed a rag. All I washed was the babies and maybe my mistress's feet. I was a lady's maid. I'd wait on my mistress and I'd knit socks for all the folks. When they would sleep, it was our duty. Us maids to fan them with the turkey feather fans.
Were you fed well?
No, Miss Mooreman. We didn't get such good food. Nobody had all the kinds of things we have today. We had mostly buttermilk, cornbread, fat back.
Did you ever get cake?
Cake? Indeed, we didn't. I remember they baked cake, and Mr. Charles Wycliffe, he was just a little boy then. He got in and took a whole fistful of cake. And when Miss found out about it, she gave us all doses of salt, enough to make us all throw up. And she gave it to all the slaves and the children, white children. And you know what she found out? Oh, son did it!
What about the war? What do you remember?
There wasn't so much of the war that was fought around us.
Did you hear any shooting around you?
No, didn't even hear anything from the war myself.
What about soldiers? Did they pass through?
Yes, ma'am. The Confederates used to come through lots. I remember how we used to go to the spring for water for them. Once the Yankees come by the place, they went out to the slaves' quarters, and they tried to get them to rise up, told them to come on in the big house and take what they wanted. Next morning, we told Master. He got scared and moved. It was near the end of the war, and we was already free, only we didn't know it yet. He moved on up to Stephensport. He took a brother of mine and another black boy.
What happened after you were freed?
I got married. My husband asked my master if he could marry me, and he told him, you're a good man. You can come and live on my farm and work for me, but you can't have Mattie. So we moved off to his master's farm. A little while after that, his master bought a big farm in Arkansas. He started out well, but the first summer he died, so sold everything he had. And the man came to auction, and he told us to come on up to Woodruff County and work for him. We was there 7 years, and he worked the farm and took care of myself and my babies. Then he went off and left me.
What did you do then to support yourself and your children?
I went to the college and started working there. Finally, he wrote me and tried to get me to stay. We had never been married. Said he wanted to marry another woman. The white folks I work for, though, they wouldn't let me do it. I've been married all right, and they wouldn't let me disgrace myself by writing their letter to him. Finally, I came on to Hot Springs. For a while, I cooked and washed. Then I started working for folks regular. For 9 years, though, I mostly washed and ironed.
Who all did you work for?
Do you know Miss Hudgens? I worked for her a long time. Worked for her before she went away and after she came back. Between times, I cooked for Miss Budden House. When Miss Julia comes back, she marches right down to Miss House's house and tells me she wants to work for me again. Wants me to work for her again. I can't get her now, says Miss House. But anyhow, I went to see her, and I went back to her. Pretty foxy Miss Julia was pretty foxy Miss Julia just was. I've been working for Mr. Eisel pretty near 25 years. Saw her children grow up and the grandchildren. Lance, and he's my heart. He used to scare me. The folks would go off to a party or a show and leave me alone with the baby.
Were you afraid you would be hurt somehow?
You know, Miss Mary, I wasn't scared for myself. I thought somebody might come in and kidnap that baby. No matter how late they was, I'd sit on the top of the stairs leading to his room.
How long do you think you'll keep working? Will you stop soon?
I don't know, Miss Mary. The other day, Joni, my daughter, called up here and she started crying. Lots of folks write her notes and say she's bad to let me work. Somebody told her that they had seen me going to work about 4 o'clock in the morning. There wasn't no such. I asked the man when I was on the way what time it was, and he said it was 25 minutes till 5. Besides, my clock had stopped working at that point.
That still seems awful early, Mattie.